What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Young Hawk the Five Deuce Gun, and welcome to my Street Fighter V beta first impressions video. Of course, I'm one of the very few people that was actually able to get into the damn beta, because everybody that was GameStop reserving, Amazon.com and going into the PSN, going ahead and actually paying $60 for reserving the game just so you can get a code to play in the beta. Hey, more power to you. At the end of the day, I was one of the lucky few to get in, as well as some of the other people around the world. So let's get right into it. Bottom line and the fact of the matter, some of the things we're going to be discussing here in the video: the graphics, some of the new gameplay mechanics, talked about the V skill, V trigger, and V gauge that's going to be in Street Fighter V, giving you a few of the notable differences from 4 to 5, talk about a little controls, the music, and my overall impressions of the game. Starting off, basically, we're going to go ahead and cover some of the new mechanics of the game. Now, you guys are looking on the screen, you're seeing action, Ryu all comboed up and having fights here. As you can see, not only am I able to get into the beta, as you've seen that lovely login screen, then welcome to the beta, now you see me in practice, now you see me in fights. I was able to have some really good time. So before I tell you guys about the new mechanics, let me give you an overall sense of how much time I was able to spend with the Street Fighter V beta. On the actual day the beta was supposed to start, which was a Thursday, I was only able to get on for about 10 minutes. After sitting there and doing what everybody was on the Capcom Unity forum, especially on Combo Fiends forums on the Capcom Unity site, everybody talking about they were sitting in the screen pressing X, mashing X for hours. Well, I was on that screen the first day, mashing that X button for about 40 minutes, and I pretty much said, to hell with this, I'll do it some other time. I had other things to do, had a recording session, so next thing you know, I go over, comes up on Friday, around 3:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I would press the little X button, got directly into it, and was on there until about 7:30 that night till I went to dinner with my aunt. And the only reason I got off is because I was going to dinner with my aunt. Did not get kicked off, had a few fights. It was awesome. That was a good 3 hours plus there. Got home that night around 11:30, jumped right back on it, and was on from 11:30 till about 4 o'clock that morning when Capcom decided to shut the servers off for the night. Unbeknownst to all of us, we didn't know that it was going to be shutting down the entire server for the entire rest of the damn beta service. So, that being said, the time that I got to get in was awesome. I had a few fights. I lost about 5 fights altogether. I won a good 15. Played with Ryu for the most part. Played with Nash once. And pretty much we're going to get into some of the new mechanics, or the most obvious mechanics of Street Fighter V, and that being this new V system. Now, you can see in certain shots here, because I don't have this fancy Elgato capture device, your boy was using his LG G4, filming it off his camera, because I didn't have any idea if I was going to get into it or not, and I got into it. So here we go. You see that red meter that's over top of the in the bottom left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner for each character respectively. You see it say V skill and V trigger going up. Well, these are the new mechanics of Street Fighter V. Your V skill is basically pressing the medium punch and medium kick buttons simultaneously, a la the focus attack from Street Fighter 4, which is completely gone. In a good way, by the way. I'm glad that's gone. I'm not mad that the focus attack is gone. But that being said, I have a lot to talk about this V skill, but only a little bit of time to do it. I'm just joking. At the end of the day, each character has a unique thing that they can do with the V trigger. Ryu is able to go ahead and do the parry, a la Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, where you just tap forward on the controller and you can parry and attack. Ryu's V skill is he can parry and attack. You'll see me do that throughout the video on a couple of different fireball occasions. Also, for guys like Nash, if he uses his V trigger, that's the teleport, and by holding a certain direction on the D-pad, you can go above somebody's head, behind their back, in front of their face. Bison's will allow him to go ahead and dash straight through stuff. It'll not really dash, it's like a dash teleport where you can just be very fast, because standard Bison is a little bit slower and sluggish to walk around with, as it is with the beta. Chun-Li is able to activate her art, and her Sage art, which I call it, is the water jutsu, and it actually gives an extra hit to all of her physical attacks. So when she's punching you with regular punches and stuff like that, it gives multiple hits. and that pretty much takes your energy quicker if people know how to use her and use combos. Birdie's, I don't recall what he did. I believe that's throwing out those little candy wrappers and eating stuff like that, making people trip over the ground and things of that nature. Cammy, it allows her to do her cannon spike and cannon drill like straight through you, as opposed to you just blocking. It goes through you and gives you more hits, makes her super fast, so she gets way more agile. And pretty much that's it. Now that's the V skill. The V trigger is when you fill that red meter all the way up, a la the revenge meter, except you don't do a super ultra combo when this is filled up. Once you fill this meter up and you activate it, pressing both the hard punch and hard kick, each character at that point will be able to do their V skill ability. Ryu will be able to go into Denjin mode. We could throw his electric fireballs. Chun-Li, I apologize. Instead of her doing I said when you press her V skill, she does the activate the Sage Art. That actually happens when you do her V trigger. Her V skill is to be able to do that diagonal jump where she can dash towards you in the air, can hit you and start off an air combo. But V triggers are when they get that red skill all the way locked up, and bam, you activate it with both the hard kick and hard punch, and each character has something specific to them. The V gauge is basically what you see going up, and certain moves require you to use the entire V gauge to do your V skill, or just one block of that V skill. Now, it's yet to be determined whether or not on the full game will people have more than just 2 blocks of V gauge. That remains to be seen. Some of the notable differences from Street Fighter 4 is no more like ground teching, or being able to like do this little crouch teching. That's out. You won't be able to do any more focus attacks. That's actually out, and I'm glad that it is. You also have a lot of things different in terms of the delivery of certain combos on Street Fighter 5 as apparent from Street Fighter 4. So it's going to take some getting used to again with the zoning and, pretty much looking at where your character can hit with like a medium kick, like all their attacks basically. You're just going to have to learn a little bit more zoning. But the most notable differences is basically not having a revenge meter, not having the focused attack, and basically no ground teching, so no crouch teching. So those are some of the most notable differences, as well as the graphics overhaul. I know you watched this on a stream from me and other people, so the graphics probably look like Street Fighter 4. But when you actually get to see it itself, it looks pretty good to me. In the 3 stages that they gave us in the beta, especially that Brazilian stage, it was awesome. It looked good. It felt good. I just was looking at the game like, man, I can't wait till the real version of this joint comes out, because this is going to be an awesome game. The controls, for the most part, I had a lot of good connections. There were a couple of laggy matches. I don't think I put any of that footage in here, but if you do see a couple of lags, hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, when you are pressing the buttons, especially when I'm in my training mode, when I'm not online fighting someone, it's actually responsive to what you're doing, and it comes out beautifully. You'll have to learn your timing. Mashing the buttons down to try to do your combos is not something that I will tell you guys to do. You really got to learn the timing of when to be able to press the next button in sequence to the combo that you're trying to pull off, whether it strings all together as a counted combo or it's a starter and stop combo. The music for me, for where it stands at for the stages, I don't mind it. It's Street Fighter. I love Capcom. Been playing Street Fighter since 1988 when it was just Street Fighter. Left hand side, put a quarter in, you get to play with Ryu. Right hand side, you put a quarter in, you get to play with Ken. All the way up to this iteration now. So I've definitely enjoyed the music and can't wait to see how they do the rest of the music for the rest of the characters. Nikali, Vega, Ken have been brought out since you haven't seen Cammy. I mean, since we brought out Cammy and Birdie, now they've revealed that they're Vega, Nikali, and Ken is on the game. So we can't wait to see the new characters. The graphics are awesome. I like the stages so far. And while there could be a little bit more on the backgrounds, arts, and things of that nature in terms of the artwork, I definitely respect the fact that they're stepping their game up and it's more active backgrounds and things of that nature, stepping it up from Street Fighter 4 series. It looks great. It feels good. The timing is good in my hands. When I was online, like I said, for the most part, playing against another competitor, when I was actually on there, it felt great. I didn't feel like, oh man, this is cheap and cheesy. People can be punished on this Street Fighter for doing moves that you know are punishable. I know there are moments when individuals, especially those of you who are in EVO and go to all the Capcom Unity fights and events and tournaments, I know there's times you feel like people are online doing moves that they should be able to get punished for, but they're able to do those moves and then continuously chain them together with stuff they would not be able to do if you were sitting right in front of their faces. Well, Street Fighter V, for the most part, for the matches that I had and the skill that I possessed, it didn't seem to do that for me. So with that being said, I definitely respected the controls. Everything was going pretty good. The gameplay flows really well. And seeing as how it's more Street Fighter for me, it just feels like, you know, getting back into it. I'm not jumping as much as I used to. Now I'm really staying on the ground, getting my medium kicks, because I was playing with Ryu for the majority of the part because I'm a Shoto favorite. Ken Masters is my favorite character since 1989, and the inclusion of him on Street Fighter II, the World Warrior. That being said, you can't get mad at me because I was playing with the Shoto. I only played with Nash about once. I lost, but it was a good experience. I'm going to end up playing with Nash a lot more, as well as trying to find out about playing with Nikali, and of course Ken Masters when I'm able to get my hands on them again. Capcom has yet to let us know when the beta will be resumed, but you guys can follow them on Twitter. Matter of fact, just follow Street Fighter on Twitter, @StreetFighter. Hit those guys up. They'll always be posting up stuff about that, so you can click on the links and go into Cabo Fiend's blogs about when they're going to be putting the beta back up and any news they may have regarding Street Fighter V. You can follow me on Twitter @TheRealYoungHawk. That's DAREALYOUNGHAAK. Hit me up, man. Click that good like and or subscribe. Leave comments down below. What do you think of Street Fighter V? Were you able to get inside the beta? I have absolutely no idea. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be putting up some of the whole fights, my wins and my losses, for the footage that I was able to capture. I will be putting those fights up. Some of them are 3 minutes, some of them are 2 minutes, but I'll be putting them up separately. Putting them up there, letting you guys see how the game flows. Hopefully, if you guys actually got a chance to get the beta, you'll be on the list for those individuals that will be able to be in the beta once it is put back into inclusion. Until then, folks, it's your boy Young Hawk, the Five Deuce Gun. As I said, click that good like and or subscribe. And as always, be blessed, stay vigilant, and fear no evil. I'll holla at you.